for the work they've put in. I'm gonna translate it to football for a quick second. Like, when a guy plays so great in college and he gets drafted, he's not necessarily gonna have a 20-year NFL career. But the fact that you got drafted and you got to live that life even for a little while, it's kind of like, okay, you worked this hard in college, this is what you got as a reward. So, like, even if they don't become a millionaire, they can say they made it. So I think it'd be very beneficial to them. I don't want them to, because then I can't go watch it, but I don't know, I guess we'll all watch it here if they do that.
Well, you got to get tickets if they do.
Yeah, I'll go to California just for that.
No, I mean here.
Yeah, I missed out on the one, but that was,
And this one sold out too.
Yeah, people need to understand that the Full Sail University arena they use, like, they do a very good job of disguising this. The place holds like 400 people.
Yeah.
You can't. The live events, they never sell out. You can go to any of them anytime you want. You can not buy tickets ahead of time. You can buy them at the door, and you'll be fine. But yes, these live events, more and more now, are selling out quicker and quicker.
The tapings too.
Yeah. The tapings and the live specials. They're like, I think that last takeover special, we left the tapings and before, the Our Evolution, it was sold out before. Like you left the show and then you went and stood in line at that ticket booth, and you bought tickets, and they pretty much sold out. And, granted, yes, it's only 400 people, and, like, if you haven't been there, it's hard to understand. They could easily do things to make the place bigger and hold more people, but, they're the definition of a big fish in a small pond. I've always agreed with the fact that, it's easier to do something simple very well instead of doing something very complicated, just mediocre. Their storylines are simplistic. Their wrestling is phenomenal. It doesn't take a lot to do these good wrestling shows. The storylines, when you have talent like that, I should say, let me rephrase. When you have the talent they have, the storylines don't need to be anything too special. Like, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to tear the house down all through 2015 because he attacked him after a match one time and powerbombed him into the ring apron, which looked like he killed him, by the way, when he did it. It worked out so perfectly.
Yeah, and Zayn sold it like a boss.
Yeah, and no, I had people. Not to be like jaded or nothing, but it looked real to the point where, like, if you went on even a dirt sheet site, that you were looking to see like Sami Zayn sent to, this hospital and things of that nature. Like, it looked pretty good. Kevin Owens will be like, Sami must be somewhat on his way out. Obviously, I think Neville's next in line. I think that's pretty much a given. Sami's got to be next, so eventually I think Owens is going to pick up the ball and run with it. I mean, there's a lot of things they can do with him. But, as far as future being in good hands, Kevin Owens has got to be, the next big guy for them, I would think.
The next big thing, as Paul Heyman would say.
That was good.
Do you think there's going to be any surprise NXT guys at the Rumble?
I wouldn't doubt if Neville gets in that.
Yeah, because, last year it was, Rusev and...
Bo?
Last year was Rusev. The year before that was Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see him, because, what happened was Rusev was just in the Rumble, and then that's all you saw of him until after WrestleMania.
Yeah, so... Here's the other question that you could really, like, wonder, like, what's the right way to bring up an NXT guy? Like...
Yeah, because they're not doing a very good job of...
Yeah, the weird way they're doing it, like, we had that whole thing where, like, Sammy and Tyler Breeze and stuff were on Raw that one time, which was great for exposure for them, but now you can't, like, growing up, obviously the internet wasn't as way it is now, where you can look up everything about everybody, but, like, when someone was going to debut, there was legit mystery on who this person was. Like, I remember when Rey Mysterio debuted on, like, WWE TV, like, there was vigilantes about it, and it waited a couple weeks. And obviously, if you watched wrestling during the Monday Night War, you knew who that was, but you didn't know how close that was to happening. Like, they were on Raw the one time, and they do dark matches now, but, like, do you bring them up in a, like... I guess what I'm saying, to try and make sense of this, is NXT is great for a lot of things, but the one thing it eliminates is a guy can't go to the main roster and you can't and start dominating and be like, damn, where did this guy come from? Because you know where he came from. So you can, like, see the whole progression, which is good. But it gives everybody, like, there's a certain level of, like, cookie cutterness to it now. So I think they need to work on, like, bringing people up in different ways. Like Ascension was fun. Like it fits their weird gimmick to do vigilantes. I mean, obviously we agreed that the match setting wasn't the best, but yeah, I mean maybe they need to do a point to make the casual fan be casual fans of NXT. Like you need to bring a main roster guy. Like they did the thing. They had Titus O'Neil down there fighting Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
They need to do the
Brodus
thing.
Clay.
And Brodus Clay, but he never went back to TV. He got fired.
Yeah.
Future and endeavored.
He then went to TNA and became Tyrus.
Tyrus. But,
What's TNA?
well, I guess, I don't know that we have the time tonight, fellas, to talk TNA, but we can definitely do that next time we get around to this. But, what I was getting at is, what they need to do more of, I think, and you guys can tell me what you think is a proper way. Titus O'Neil, let's say, perfect example, goes down to NXT, messes with Sammy, beats him in a match, and then goes back to TV. Get that NXT guy to chase him to WWE TV. And then you're going to do one of two things. You're either going to know what's going on because you watch NXT, or you're going to say, who the hell is this, and why the hell is he doing that? And then prompts you to watch NXT. I mean, what do you guys think? I think a few of those would be beneficial. A few, things similar to that.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, I think a perfect example would be with Cesaro and Sami Zayn. Like, be phenomenal performances that would hook the wrestling fans, and then they could tell a great story in the ring, which would help hook the casual fans. And I mean, they just have great chemistry together. So, just to tell that story on national TV would be great to see.
Yeah, there's this weird connection right now, which I like, but it's like I don't know how to describe it. There's like W's got their main eventers, you got your mid carders, and you got your bottom feeding card. When those underfeeders go to NXT, they're superstars again. Like, so none of them would mind going down there to work with these guys. Like, we went.
Like Kurt Hawkins, Tyson Kidd.
We had him. There was a dark match last time we went. And Brian Kendrick was there.
Oh well, yeah, that was
Sliced bread
a
number
surprise.
2.
Sliced bread number 2.
He fought Crow.
Solomon Crow. That's another guy, for those who don't know.
Of what they're doing with him.
Yeah, Solomon Crow's been, pulling dark matches.
I think it's just like a joke or something, an ongoing joke.
Yeah, but for the better part of a year, really, he's been, dark matches. He's a guy that they could
got
easily
injured, but I mean,
yeah,
he could have debuted like a year ago. I seen him wrestle.
They actually did a match.
Show.
Yeah, they did a match. Me and Billy were there.
Kalisto tore the house down.
Yeah. Him and Kalisto tore the house down. Yeah, at the house show. But they did a match where they were going to debut him. They filmed it. We watched it. It was decent. But and then they decided not to air it.
Well, that was the whole taping that they didn't air a lot of stuff from.
Yeah.
That was the whole CM Punk's thing.
That's true. I guess we had something to do with that.
Yeah.
It's a little CM Punk chance. But yeah, I think we got like 10.
Speaking of, if he was still in the company, he'd be a perfect superstar to win the Rumble. But
Punk? Oh, yeah. I mean,
yeah, it could totally be. Like, I mean, I guess now that Bryan's in there, I guess you could see him winning it. And Roman Reigns, I don't know. I don't know if I could see him making
I don't know that I
Maybe.
want him to, but that just seems to be the
That's what they're shoving at us.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't dislike Roman Reigns. I like him, just fine. Out of all the Vince McMahon big guys in the past couple of years, he's definitely my favorite. Like, I don't like Ryback to the point where he needs to be like a world champion. Roman's gonna win it at some point.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, the family he belongs to. But
he's my least favorite out of the Shield 3.
Really? Well, that's actually pretty obvious because, I didn't like Dean Ambrose when we first started watching. You've convinced me otherwise. I've watched Seth Rollins since before NXT was a thing. I have his autograph on a WSX DVD, which somebody might not even know what that is. It's an old wrestling company that MTV used to try and put on. And he was in it as Tyler Black, and he signed it as Tyler Black, even though he was already Seth Rollins. So I've known him, I've seen him and been a fan of his matches for a while. WWE does some things that, it's been a while since I could not get something and be like, well, they probably know what they're doing. And the Shield was the last time they've really done that. Like, they broke them up. Nobody was happy about that. But in general, things have worked out okay. Like, they took a faction and smashed it, and all the pieces became main eventers, excuse me. So, I think out of the way they could have done it, like I couldn't have seen it going much better than the way
Yeah,
they pulled it off.
you're talking about how to bring up, characters from NXT. They like that is a big character change what they did with them bringing them up, but it worked. Like if
Yeah, I
they
mean
it was impactful and
it can definitely work some of the time. Here's a fun fact for you guys. I don't know if y'all knew this. The original Shield was supposed to have Chris Hero in it, and not
Yeah.
Roman Reigns. So I mean, if you want to play what if for a minute, like that would have been a little interesting. I like Chris Hero as an indie wrestler and everything, but the thing that would have made that, like, here's the reason I think Roman was the better choice. If you have Chris Hero in there, obviously the three guys bring slightly different things to the table. They're all very similar in some other aspects. So Roman Reigns broke it up enough because you had two true mat wrestlers and then one power guy. Like Chris Hero and Dean Ambrose are similar to that effect. I think obviously they have like different styles, but you would just have three similar, not looking, but similar. They would look like three action figures, and that's it. Like I think obviously I don't think Chris Hero should have been let go. Like he could be doing things in NXT right now.
he could be tag teaming with Cesaro. Like that would give just be money right there.
Yeah, which I mean I've heard that Tyson Kidd and Cesaro are going to be a team, or they already are. I guess like they have a name now.
Yeah.
But no, that'll be good. I wouldn't mind seeing them win some tag gold at some point. But
Or job out to the Ascension.
oh yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, guys, we got a few more minutes here. You guys got anything else you want to throw in for this episode?
You never asked me how to call up the NXT Super.
I asked you. Go for it.
Oh. Do you guys watch the Monday Night War?
Like the new series or when it happened?
The series.
Sometimes.
Yeah, occasionally.
Well, this is something intriguing. You know how Scott Hall and Kevin Nash came to WCW and they formed the NWO and all that?
Yeah.
Here's my thinking. Why don't they send somebody from NXT to Monday Night Raw? Just crash the party, and just do a shoot interview and then just be you want a war, you got it.
That's kind of what the Shield did. The only difference would be, they didn't do the reference like you're saying do a war between NXT and WWE. Is that what you're saying?
Let me finish.
Okay.
And so slowly things start to come, and then maybe the whole invasion story, like an NXT invasion.
Mm-hmm. That I could see that, but that could also be really risky because not everybody down there is ready for something like that. They have a good 4 or 5 people that they could easily do that with, but they don't have a full roster, ready for things like that. I don't think some of the lower level tag teams and some of their just starting out guys will be ready for something like that. But yeah, I mean there could easily be from the most basic form of what you're saying. I think there's a perfectly logical way to just be like, hey, I'm from NXT. I accomplished a lot down there. Now I'm here to kick, this person's ass instead, Yeah. You got anything else? No? Alright, well, this was definitely fun. This is a little tryout. I hope you guys enjoyed doing this, and I hope everyone enjoyed listening to this. We're going to try and get another episode of this, in a week or two. Let some more wrestling storylines commence. But this has been the Ringside Seat Podcast. I'm Phil Nunziata.
I'm Billy Hornby.
And I'm Jake Cameron.
Thanks for listening.